Very good morning, cadets. Hope you are happy and safe in your homes. Let us move to the next chapter, that is the Mughal Empire. Till now, I completed 3 chapters. Chapter number, we studied about the early kingdoms, the new kingdoms, and we studied about the tracing history for 1,000 years, and we also studied about the Delhi Sultanates. We studied about Delhi Sultanates, we studied about various dynasties which ruled Delhi, like Sayyid dynasty ruled Delhi, Lodi ruled Delhi, then Tughlaq ruled Delhi. So several other dynasties we studied, they ruled Delhi. Now the chapter number 4, in this chapter we discuss about Mughal dynasty, which is later considered as the dynasty which belongs to India. Because when you study about the revolt of 1857, that you will study in the future classes, class 8th and 10th, and further you study when you study the revolt of 1857. During the revolt of 1857, when Delhi was captured by the Sipahis of British Sipahis of Indian Army, means Sipahis was the name given by the British to the soldiers who were recruited from India. When these Sipahis captured Delhi, then the Sipahis requested Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last reputed or known king of Mughal dynasty. Bahadur Shah Zafar was requested to become the emperor of India. With the request of Sipahis, Bahadur Shah Zafar was ready to work with the Sipahis. So connection of Mughal dynasty we can find even in the revolt of 1857. So in chapter number 4, of course you know Mughal dynasty, studying Mughal dynasty in the class like class 7 in detail is not possible, because lot of contribution to the art, architecture, literature and other various aspects. So what we are going to study in this particular chapter, we are going to study about the brief history of Mughal dynasty, and we are also going to study about briefly about the famous kings who ruled, who belongs to the Mughal dynasty, and we are studying later about their contribution to the architecture or the construction of monuments. So that's what I am saying. We are going to study in brief about the Mughal kingdom. But when we study in brief about the Mughal kingdom, definitely there are a lot of reference related to the various kings and activities related to them and related to the year. So please read the textbook very clearly, or with a good observation. Please read the textbook. When we speak about Mughal dynasty, definitely the well-known or reputed kings of Mughal dynasty, Babur who started Mughal dynasty by defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat. So Babur from 1526 to 1530 was the founder of Mughal dynasty. After death of Babur, Humayun, his son Humayun, but Humayun was not so successful. We study later in this chapter only, but later Humayun re-established the kingdom which was started by his father. But Mughal dynasty was in the zenith, or the topmost popularity during the time of Akbar. Relatively, Akbar ruled for a longer period. So Akbar ruled for a longer period, and during time of Akbar, Mughal dynasty was in the zenith or top of the success. After Akbar's rule, Jahangir. We remember Jahangir because it is during the time of Jahangir only the British East India Company entered India. You know, British East India Company entered India as a mercantile or a trading company in the year 1600. British entered India, mainly a place called Surat. But when British landed in India, that is the British East India Company landed in India, initially they were not allowed to trade in India. So permission to the British to trade in India was given by Jahangir, that is in the year 1612. So in 1612, the British East India Company started their trade, permission granted by Jahangir. Then definitely we are all remembering Shah Jahan because of the contribution of the greatest monument, which is considered as one of the wonders of the world, that is Taj Mahal. So Shah Jahan is well known king from the Mughal dynasty. The last reputed king was Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb and Akbar, if you see the two kings, Akbar and Aurangzeb, relatively Aurangzeb and Akbar compared to other leftover four kings, these expanded their kingdom for a very long periods. Means they ruled almost most part of Indian subcontinent. But Aurangzeb was not so popular like Akbar, because Aurangzeb was religious fanatic, means he was too much interested about his religious dogmas, whereas Akbar was, he respected all the religions. That's why Akbar remembered better than Aurangzeb, because Akbar started a religion called Deen-e-Ilahi, where he welcomed people from all the religions, whereas Aurangzeb imposed jizya tax, that means tax imposed on non-Muslims, was done by Aurangzeb. So after Aurangzeb, that is in the year 1707. So Aurangzeb died in the year 1707. After Aurangzeb's death, Mughal dynasty collapsed completely. One of the major reasons is the rise and the strong empire done by the British East India Company. Because by 1707, almost the Mughal dynasty, when it's lost importance because of after death of Aurangzeb, the first one to rebel was Bengal, that is Siraj-ud-Dawla, Nawab of Bengal. Then you know the Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, and later periods the known Mughal kings were not there, but finally we remember one Mughal king that I told you, Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar is remembered because of the revolt of 1857. So this is we study each king in detail, the same chapter, but remember Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb, the well-known kings. Now let us start the chapter. I told you Mughal dynasty was the zenith of its power, or the peak of its power during the time of Akbar. Mughal dynasty at its zenith commanded resources unprecedented in Indian history and covered almost the entire subcontinent. So when we see the achievement of Akbar and Aurangzeb, then Mughal dynasty initially started, you know, Babur, who started Mughal dynasty, ruled hardly for 4 years, 1526 to 1530. But later, the Mughal dynasty started gaining its importance. That is what, by how they started gaining their importance, by effective administration as well as by the resource collection. So they reached the unprecedented zenith in the Indian history and covered almost entire subcontinent. The Mughal king Aurangzeb even defeated the Adil Shahis of Bijapur. Then imagine, from Delhi he reached to Bijapur and even he reached to Afghanistan. So entire subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, was under the control of Aurangzeb. So that is what we say. Mughals ruled in the entire, almost entire part of Indian subcontinent. The Mughals' empire was fairly efficient and centralized organization with a vast complex of personnel, money and information dedicated to the service of emperor and his nobility. Why Mughals become so popular? Because of their Akbar's introduction of Mansabdari system. The taxation introduced by Akbar was fantastic. Okay, he appointed several Mansabdars who collect the tax, and his tax, Akbar became very popular because he being a Muslim king, he abolished jizya tax, the tax on non-Muslims, abolished that tax, and lot of innovative measures were implemented in the collection of tax. That's the reason why Akbar's collection of tax was more scientific. That's why people were very happy. That's the reason why you maybe watched a movie called Jodha Akbar and all. During the time of Akbar, there were several matrimonial alliances between Hindu kings, especially Rajputs and the Mughals. So, during the time of Akbar, there was a very friendly relation between the Hindus as well as the Muslims. That is what we say. And Akbar had a great deal of nobility. There were a lot of landlords who were very sincere to Akbar. That's the reason why Akbar could rule the Indian subcontinent in a better way. So the Mughal Empire was fairly an efficient administration, and with the vast, they had a good personnel or people, money and information dedicated to the nobility. You see, this is a map during the time of Akbar and Aurangzeb, of course. You see, Bijapur, that is captured in the year 1655. So Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, Gondwana, Kandahar, Kabul. So Kabul to Bijapur, imagine such a vast kingdom was under the control of Mughals. That's why we say Mughals ruled a large Indian subcontinent. This map is there in your textbook. Map number 1, military campaign under Akbar and Aurangzeb. Chittoor, Gujarat, Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Birur, Gondwana, Orissa, Bengal. So go through the map, because when you go through the map, definitely you will understand how vast the Mughal kingdom is. Of course, later when I am explaining Akbar, I will personally I'll show the map which belongs to his period. Moving to the next continuation of that, point number 3. Mughal Empire united a large part of Indian subcontinent after Delhi Sultanates. We studied about Sayyid dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaqs, Chauhans or Chahamanas. So, Chahamanas or Chauhans ruled Delhi, and after that series of Delhi Sultanates, the chapter number 3. But series of Delhi Sultanates, let it be Sayyid, Khilji, Lodi, Tughlaqs, their time period was very less period, or they ruled for a very short period in Delhi. Whereas when you compare Delhi Sultans with the Mughals, relatively their rule was for a longer period. That's why we say after decline of Delhi Sultanates, that is Ibrahim Lodi's decline or defeat in the Battle of Panipat, it is the Mughals who ruled Delhi almost till 1707, from 1526. 1526, first Battle of Panipat, from 1526 to 1707, that is death of Aurangzeb. So this period, this short period, almost Delhi was controlled by the Mughals. Only now before Delhi, who were the most known empires of India or North India? Is Mauryan Empire and Gupta. Gupta Empire we studied in chapter number 2. Gupta Empire is considered as a golden age of Indian history. The same way we studied about Chola dynasty, which is considered as one of the most flourished dynasty of South India, like that Mauryan Empire and Gupta Empire. These two empires were very known, well-known empires. Like that, even Mughal dynasty was also considered as rich and well-known empire of India. So we study about Mughal dynasty because their contribution to India is quite large. This image, you may be known image to you. On Independence Day, you can see the Prime Minister of India gives his address from the ramparts of Red Fort. Red Fort was considered as the palace of the Mughals. Now it is a national monument. Okay, this monument is considered as one of the greatest icon of Indian National Federation or the country called India. So this monument, of course, was under the control of Mughals. So Mughals, definitely their contribution to the Indian history cannot be neglected. That is very important. Their contribution cannot be neglected, and because of the Mughals, there are several changes were introduced in the Indian administrative system. Now, let us move to the topic, who were Mughals? Who were Mughals in the sense? This is nothing but we studied about Chola, who was the founder of Chola dynasty. We studied who started the Rashtrakuta dynasty. We definitely origin is very important. Whenever we speak of the origin of Mughal dynasty, Mughal themselves give the two lineage. They belong to two lineage of kingdoms. One is from father's side, another one is from mother's side. But they don't want to highlight one particular lineage, that is from Genghis Khan. We studied in chapter 2 that is Genghis Khan. Who was Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan was an invader who attacked India and looted Indian wealth and massacred or killed people in India. So Genghis Khan is not remembered in a good memory of Indians. That's why Mughals don't want to highlight that they are the successors, lineage of Genghis Khan. Let us go through this. Mughals were descendants of two lineage of rulers. Two lineage of rulers. From mother side, they were descendants of Genghis Khan. So from mother side, they were descendants of Genghis Khan and the Mongol ruler who ruled over the past parts of China and Central Asia. Who was Genghis Khan? I explained you in detail. Genghis Khan was a ruler who ruled China and Central Asia, but he was, from Indians' memory point of view, he is a person who is involved in looting of Indian wealth and massacre of Indians. That's why in a bad memory. From the father side, they were successors of Timur Lenk. Timur Lenk was also another. He is an invader who invaded India in 13th century, end of the 13th century. Timur Lenk was a ruler of Iran and he ruled Iran, Iraq and modern day Turkey. So Timur Lenk's lineage or the successors, that is from father's side. So from mother's side, Genghis Khan. Now Timur Lenk was remembered in India not like Genghis Khan because Timur Lenk captured Delhi. That is the only memory left about Timur Lenk. That's the reason why Mughals wanted to call as successors of Timur, not the Genghis Khan. So Mughals like to call successors of Timur, not the Genghis Khan. Mughals were proud of their Timurid ancestry, that means Timur, because they had captured Delhi in 1398. Means the Timur dynasty captured Delhi in the year 1398. So Timur captured Delhi in 1398. So Mughals interested to remember or known to be as successors of Timur. Mughals did not like to be called as Mongols. I told you Mongols were remembered as invaders, looters. Mughals don't like to be called as Mongols or successors of Genghis Khan because of his name was associated with massacre and looting of Indian wealth. So why the Mughals don't want to be called as successors of Genghis Khan? Because Genghis Khan's memory or the name is related to looting and massacre of Indian wealth. This is the image of Timur. Okay, this is Timur and Genghis Khan image you have seen. This is the image of Genghis Khan. Okay, so this is the image of Genghis Khan. Okay, let me stop here. I will continue in the next class. Try to remember what I taught today. So ancestry or the lineage of Mughals, two lineage, one is of Genghis Khan, another one is of Timur Lenk. Okay, complete all the tasks assigned to you. I will meet you in the next class. Take care. Bye.